Joining me now from Southern California, founder of Stop the Poop, Baron Partlow. Baron, this is obviously not just a human invasion. It is an invasion of our environment from Mexico, and there are multiple sources of the sewage coming from Mexico that affect your life and your friend's life. One are these unfinished concrete flood channels down along the border. Another is just kind of run-of-the-mill, general kind of runoff from Tijuana and other parts of Mexico. And then a third is the antiquated Mexican sewage facilities south of the border. Let's talk about these concrete flood channels. They were supposed to be built, they were funded, but suddenly the money went away?
In 1970, environmental groups blocked a $9 million City of San Diego project to complete the concrete channel from where it crosses into the United States from Mexico all the way to the Pacific Ocean, which is roughly a 5-mile run. And they diverted the funding to Mission Bay, mainly the dredging of Fiesta Island.
And so that's one source, and we'll talk about the solutions in a second. But another source, Tijuana has a rather old sewage treatment plant that simply can't handle and process what's coming into its system, and therefore it ends up in the ocean?
There's a sewage treatment plant at Punta Las Banderas, 5 miles south of the border, right on the coast. And Mexican officials from the North American Development Bank actually came out and admitted last Thursday at a Citizens Forum Board meeting of the United States International Boundary and Water Commission, they finally admitted that that plant is obsolete.
All right, so we also have a sewage plant right at the border. In the 1990s, politicians on both sides of the border said, hey, we're going to come up with a binational solution. It's a sewage treatment facility right on the border that is functioning right now and doing its job, but it's simply not at capacity, is it?
Well, it's meeting its contractual obligation of an average of 25 million gallons a day of Mexican sewage treated to advanced primary and then pumped offshore to the South Bay outfall. It's got a footprint on its facility that can expand to a capacity of 100 million gallons a day. And there's talk about pushing it in that direction, but it's just not happening. And this is a dogfight we're in. This is a dogfight for our lives in another component and another front of this very war we're fighting.
Okay, Imperial Beach is in District 51, represented by a gentleman by the name of Juan Vargas, a lifelong politician. But District 52 is adjacent to it. District 52 also gets hammered by this pollution, and it's represented by one of the worst, Scott Pelosi Peters. He has one of the worst records on the border, worst records on immigration, and really it's a waste of time to try and deal with these representatives. Unfortunately, your message needs to go directly to the president. You agree with that?
I'm in total agreement with that. I have a congressman in the 51st Congressional District. His name is Juan Vargas. He stands at the port of entry when President Trump is at the border wall prototypes, telling the media and the world, for that matter, to anybody who will listen, trying to incite a riot, President Trump, you're not welcome in California. I was California Army National Guard for 10 years, and President Trump is welcome anywhere in the United States, especially California. Juan Vargas, you're a liar.
In other words, the president's not welcome, but apparently sewage is. The solutions are pretty simple. Finish these concrete channels, right? Sure. Increase the capacity of the plant that's on our side of the border, and maybe give Mexico a little helping hand in updating and modernizing its sewage plant.
Sure, because the Mexican people got it just as bad as we do. This isn't the people of Mexico, this is their government. Now, how can we have let it get to this horrific and epic proportion that we're forced to endure for so long? We need to oversee anything that we contribute money to in Mexico, because they have a habit of not following through with their word. Minute 283, Recommendation 16 of a treaty between the United States and Mexico and the International Boundary and Water Commission is a fine example of that, which states Mexico is responsible for any transboundary sanitation that originates in their country. They're responsible for stopping it. They're responsible for making the infrastructure repairs. They're responsible for communicating it, and they're responsible for reaching out to the United States if they can't handle that in that capacity.
Well, to answer your question, it's lack of leadership. That's why we're in this position. It's been going on, unfortunately, for decades. We will continue to alert the president. He watches the program from time to time. Great. We'll continue to keep this on our radar and hopefully on his radar as well. Baron, thank you.
Thank you so much, Graham.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.